paid me to defend the pick, I can't do it.
But I just don't think they're gonna win. But I just don't think they're gonna win.
If you paid me to defend the pick, I can't do it.
But I just don't think they're gonna win. But I just don't think they're gonna win. He hit 366. He hit over 500.
If you paid me to defend the pick, I can't do it.
He hit 366. He hit over 500.
The more you analyze it, the more holes you come up with.
But I just don't think they're gonna win. But I just don't think they're gonna win.
You blew up the draft with that pick. Nobody expected that pick. Scared to give the F, huh? Scared to give the F, huh?
You have Nanu, who was the MVP. If your team could just field the ground ball, and throw it in and not give Zach home runs on singles the last week of the season.
Because I have Alan Jamal leading off because we know T.I. loves him. Scared to give the F, huh? Scared to give the F, huh? If you paid me to defend the pick, I can't.
He hit 366. He hit over 500. He hit 366. He hit over 500.
Analyze it. The more holes you come
but
up.
I just don't think they're gonna win. But I just don't think they're gonna win.
If you paid me to defend the pick, if you paid me.
He hit 366. He hit over 500. Over 500. But I just don't think they're gonna win. But I just don't think they're gonna win.
Hello everyone, Ruby Shahebar, founder of Gems by Ruby and an official sponsor of the 2024 YMSL season. A short message for you guys. On the expanse of the diamond, we realize that no one player can determine success. The field is the venue where character is tried and tested. When 12 men unite toward a common goal with a shared purpose, the magic of unity unfolds. Challenges become triumphs, aspirations become victories. There is a compounding strength found in togetherness. One team will rise and many will fall. Which side of history will you be on? Look forward to opening day, March 31st. Hope to see you all there. May the best men win.
All right, we got Circle of Trust up. Welcome back to the show. Very excited. New day, new team. Very interesting team. First year captain, the guy that everyone had the questions about. Would he be his father's puppet? Didn't take his father. Love it. Love that he didn't take his father. You know, a lot of questions about the first two picks. Great players, but started out and he didn't need another outfielder for the whole draft in a deep outfield draft. So he went, MC and Marty. You can't go wrong with MC and Marty, of course. Great players, game-changing type players. Definitely a down year for MC last year. I think a lot had to do with him pitching. But there's no denying that you don't want your first round pick hitting 370, driving in 3 runs. And this is a crazy lineup that if he doesn't hit, he could be batting 7th in this lineup.
Oh, you love the lineup?
I think you look at the guy's production, Marty is to me, Marty is the most, I played with him. I don't know if you ever played with Marty, played with him last year.
Yeah,
Marty's the most physically gifted guy, from speed to power.
He's top 5 offensive player in the sport.
I think I was so impressed with the Tigers, what I saw. I think that he's really a special player. So I love Marty.
I had him eyeballed at 7 on my pick.
Juber had finally had the offensive year last year that I've been waiting for him to have, putting together line drives. He was the catalyst, him and Charles Saka, that got Moshiach over the top. What Charles Saka did in the playoffs, he had in 8-game playoffs, he had stats that were full seasons for people, 2 seasons for people. Wow. He had 10 RBIs in the playoffs. He really performed. He had 462 in the regular season, and he started off, him and Marty, they started off like 0 for 10, both of them, and they both ended 468 and 462. There was no one hotter than these two guys down the stretch. So you have those two guys in the lineup. You have Juber who had a career year. You have Nanu, who was the MVP. If your team could just field a ground ball and throw it in and not give Zach home runs on singles the last week of the season, or pick up David Sabag, Nanu's the MVP. Slugged over 800, hit 543, was the number 1 seed. He should have won MVP. David Arari, offensive resurgence. He's going to catch. I had him at first maybe, but all-star. You have 468, 465, 443, 512, 462. And MC's going to bat 2nd or 3rd, hitting 370. It's not going to happen. He's going to have to hit, and he's going to hit. He's a great player. Look at the outfield. Defensively,
wait. Let me just say one thing before you go. Nanu had a phenomenal year, but he deserved to be 2nd place in the MVP because Z slugged 1,000 and had on base of 630 compared to 530, and play shortstop instead of first base.
Yes, but 2 of those home runs were singles. I'm saying you get 7 extra bases.
Yes, you get 7
that
extra
helps,
bases.
that helps. And this guy
100%.
couldn't run, and he was getting all those hits. They're only singles. They could have been doubles
But
and
even
triples.
healthy, this guy can't run.
I hear
And
you.
Z's
I
always
hear you.
good
I
at
hear
push.
you.
By the
Definitely,
way,
to
when
finish
you were
second is
younger,
great.
what was your whole thing? You tagged up from second to third on a high pop to Jack Jamal right over here.
Right.
So that matters.
No, it
The fact that
definitely
you could do
matters.
that.
You know
could
what?
run.
There's no doubt he had a tremendous
This
year for
guy's
himself
not
last year.
moving. He's
There's
station to
There's
station.
no doubt that being second in MVP is a tremendous accomplishment to Z. He had 20 RBIs.
20.
He's the premier
Insane.
run producer, and if you have Marty, Juber, and MC batting in front of you, slot him in for another 20.
It's crazy. 5
DH,
doubles, a triple, and a
Charles,
homer.
you know, Abe Haber hit 273. He's not a 273 hitter. He's a better hitter. He's a Gold Glove right fielder with one of the strongest arms. You know, he's gonna hit. Jody hit 425 in at bats last year. He's a veteran guy. Ruby Shahebar for 11th round pick, 12th round pick. He can hit a home run. He's hit a
he hits
grand
a homer
slam
every year.
He's hit
Every
grand
year.
slams. You know,
He
so
can hit.
and
Ruby can
and
hit.
I don't know. You know, Mikey Miz played last year. I wasn't in the league. Looks like more of a glove than a bat.
Mikey Miz says he used to be a center fielder years ago, hasn't played, didn't have cleats the week before Beast Mode started, so didn't know what he was getting into. I think this year he'll be a lot better, but I don't know what he's doing in here. I guess he played a little bit of infield last year, but he's more of an outfielder.
Who's your? You don't have options. You have Ruby Shahebar and Jody on the bench as we have it now.
Right. Okay. Fine. So
You know, they
first
could
of
do
all,
something if they move DH to first,
Nanu
Nanu to
to
third, and Charles Saka.
Charles should
They
be
can
the
move around a little
shortstop.
And
Charles
Ruby
should-
Shahebar, Ruby Saka is
Saka.
the best short center
center
fielder.
we've ever seen, ever.
Right. Well, he's been putting in a lot of work by Kevin defensively and offensively. Maybe he wants some bats, but definitely defensively, which is great because I think
Offensively, he's interesting because he usually doesn't even bring a
yeah,
bat.
he's trying to be hit, and I think there's a spot for him in the lineup with the guys of 214 and Jody. There may be one spot for him to get some ABs.
Okay, so listen, they're giving it to Ruby to start. I know that.
Shortstop.
Yes. I believe Charles is disappointed with that.
I would think, just because, and I hate to say that it goes like this, but it does in this world, when you hit 462, how do you not get the shot?
I don't know.
You know, like sometimes the center fielder is not as good as the left fielder, but when you hit 500, you're the center fielder.
You're the guy.
You know, I think that it's very, he's definitely a great fielder. He's just as good. You know, they both haven't done it. Usually it goes to the offensive guy who I took first, not the guy who goes much later. But they're going to start this way, and let's see how it pays off.
And I get Ruby wanting it, and he also deserves it on a different team, I guess. But he's the best short center I've ever seen. What he did on Swimming and on the Knights blew me away.
Well,
It's crazy how good he is.
Week one, he's suspended.
Yeah.
So there's going to be some shuffling. He might play second. You know, we're not sure what they're going to do week one while he's out.
Let's talk about this pick, because I found this pick for a second baseman at 25.
Well, infield was very important, though.
Yes,
Infield was important,
but not second base.
but he's also a great hitter, and he's an athlete. I think that if he wasn't suspended,
Right.
he would have won 18.
By the way,
He would have went 18 to 20. I think he fell a little bit because he's missing a seventh of the season. And again, he's a guy
you know
who
who you could have
was
had
a great
there, right?
athlete.
You know who you could have had.
Saw?
You could have had a pitcher over there, and then you put a real pitcher better than Jeffrey with this team
Well, Jeffrey,
around him
Jeffrey's
instead of Juber.
Yep. Yeah, if they have Eddie Harari on this team, it's a different team.
Imagine Eddie Harari on this team.
Well, what do you guys
Or
think about
Edmund-
Jeffrey? I
or
mean,
Edmund-
I go to the cages Sunday morning at 11 these
Edmund
days, and Jeffrey's there at 10 with his family. He's bringing his son-in-laws to come watch him pitch.
Nice, Ray Day's son, that is, by the way.
He's bringing his son-in-laws, and he's putting in a lot of work. You know, it's very different in a controlled environment where there's no one swinging, and you get to throw. There's no penalties for walking guys, and he's throwing all these funky pitches. He's throwing a lot hard. He's got his personal catcher.
Yeah.
Pitching 2 games in the heat, in the sun. He's not young, but that's what he does. He comes and he gets better in those hot games, in the game threes.
Yeah, age and stamina is never a thing.
He can do it. He wants to pitch 10 more years. He's putting in the work now because he has to. He spends an hour before every game stretching. He loves it. He's the most competitive guy that you're going to meet because he's double our age and he's still competing and everything. As a pitcher, harder than anything else that you're going to do on this field. I think he could win a World Series. He got there 2 years ago. I'm just saying this pick should have been Eddie Harari. Jeffrey deserves a job, but on a different team.
But I
Eddie
also
Harari
think
right
you
here.
just said he wants to pitch for 10 more years. He
Yeah.
was very close to not pitching this year.
I know.
So you have guys who are coming up the farm system. There's good pitchers in Hillel. Max Sutton's son is going to come and pitch in a couple of years.
yeah.
If you want to pitch for 10 years, you got to dominate
gotta-
every
no, he's
year
gotta-
to guarantee
he's
your
gotta-
spot.
he's gotta develop
Because
a real
you know what?
curveball.
If Yak hits 500 and wants to pitch, he'll pitch for a
Yeah.
decade also. So you know what? If you want to pitch for 10 years, you know, almost every year you got to make the playoffs and be in it and have captain say he's deserving of his spot.
Jeff's very smart. Jeff knows that also. Jeff knows that he sees that, you know, he's been going later and later, and he knows that he's going to have to develop a new pitch to stay around for another 10 years if he wants to do that. He has to. Because like you said, there's guys coming up that are really good, and it is what it is.
It's
I
funny.
mean,
I think played with him a bunch. He spends a lot of time like positioning him. You have an outfield
Norm
here,
loves that.
but you have an outfield here. I think a lot of times he does it to give himself time and to think about what he wants to throw.
And to get in the
it's not
hitter's
so-
head.
and
He's
it's-
also
yeah,
icing-
and it's
he's
not
icing-
right. It's not so much
icing
that he has
the
to tell
hitter.
Marty where to
No,
play,
icing
but I
the
think that's
It's
know
smart.
he definitely doesn't tell this outfield anything because they're
Everything he
grade A
does
outfielders.
is to get in the hitter's head. He's saying, "I'm batting." He's saying, "Move back." Well, but
But
why
also-
else he moving back?
He also tips his handle out, which is surprising for Jeff, because sometimes he'll say back up. So then you're like,
know
okay,
that
here comes a
meatball's coming?
cookie, and the cookie comes. He's the type to be like back up, and then he'll throw a fastball. He
Right.
hasn't done that, which is surprising.
Yeah.
I guess the count dictates.
But he thinks he's smarter than everybody also. That's why. He thinks this guy's not paying attention to anything either. But Jeffrey's all about those games. My biggest question on this team is where is the leadership coming from? Who is the voice?
Great call.
Who? Who? Is it him?
No,
Is it him?
maybe.
Is it him?
No.
Better be.
No.
Is it him?
Well, he's the captain.
No.
He's
Is
got
it him?
No.
Him?
No.
I think
Ruby?
No.
Charles?
Yes.
So it's gonna be Jeffrey.
Oh,
Jeffrey's the
oh.
captain. What's
No, no,
going
no.
on here?
He's the best teammate I ever played with. He really is.
No,
He's
no,
the
no,
best
but I
teammate.
think-
he's the leader. He's the guy. He's
I
the
know,
guy.
but
And
I
also
think
good-
that
he's also
you don't put your hat in the ring if you don't want to be a leader. I think that he hasn't been a leader in the past because no one's asked him to ever be a leader on their team. He's playing with me. I'm not asking him for the lineup. I'm asking for anything. Just come
Right.
up, show up, and make your plays. I think now that he knows he's the captain, he's watched his father do it.
Jack.
He's saying it's his team. He's not going to go down. But
He's too busy being yelled at.
No, but
for
I don't-
bad base
I
running.
don't
But no
think-
one's gonna
I don't
ask him-
think- I
No
don't-
one's gonna ask him to.
I
what do you
think
think
that
about this or that when
he didn't
when
pick
he's
his
not
father.
taking up.
He
He
didn't
didn't
pick
pick his father for a reason.
He didn't pick his father for a reason to say to everyone, it's my team. I think he's been a guy who's been vocal in chats for a long time. Now he's gonna pick a team. It's gonna be him and him. Yeah, you're definitely gonna have Jeff. He's on the mound. He's touching the ball. It's also very hard. I found it to be a captain from the outfield.
I was just gonna say
Because
that.
you're so far away,
Yes.
and every time there's a blown call, you're gonna stop the game and run in. When I'm playing short center or I'm playing shortstop,
No,
I'm
it's
right
great.
there.
It's
I'm
great.
able to communicate with the umpires.
Yes. So
Farka,
Farka-
need a guy
Yeah,
here
one time-
who's
one time-
able to be a captain.
How do
in
you
the
do it?
infield.
Because
No,
Farka
so
and
one
Bub
time-
both
He
said
doesn't
that.
do
I
it.
gotta
He
run
goes
in.
in when there's a fight. He lies down in the
lies
outfield.
down
And
in
then
the
they'll
outfield.
be the captain.
Yeah, no, that nonsense I don't get involved in. But like one time, me and Jeff Saka walked. We were playing Jack Abadi's team. He walked Henry Shalom when we were up 4 or 5 runs. He loaded the bases. I came in. I said, "What the hell are you doing?" We're not walking him. And he came back to first. They let us do it. Terry, remember that?
Wow.
You remember?
You took him off first base.
You don't remember that?
Went backwards?
Maybe, I don't remember. What, Diamondbacks? What's it? Cold blood.
Dude, cold-blooded. I
And
came
then
in
what
from
happened?
the
He hit a
outfield.
home run.
And no, he grounded out the
Okay,
second.
uh-huh.
He grounded out the second. But you remember? We told him.
Terry didn't.
he
He threw me out of that game. Did he throw me out? I mean,
No.
Terry threw me out.
No,
of the
no,
game.
no.
Terry threw you out of the Tigers.
So my
Yeah.
point is, yeah, it is hard to. It's harder to be a captain from the outfield. But Abe Haber, I think he drafted a very good team. I'm actually surprised.
Why'd you write Bub?
He told me the hardest thing of being a captain was during the game I'm in right field.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
know
hard.
what's going on over here. These guys Zach is talking to his pitcher all day, whatever.
No,
and then
huge.
Farka also, Los Caballos, every second running in to argue, running
Right.
back, running in to argue, running back.
Right.
It was a pain.
It is
So
hard.
it's much harder
hard.
in the outfield.
It's right.
And this guy does it, but he, like you said, he's sitting Indian style taking a tan out there when there's an argument
Depends,
going
yeah,
on.
yeah. There's
No,
a-
but
he can't do that.
I
Jeff's
think
gonna
it's going to
dominate.
be Jeff. I think Jeff has
Jeff's
also
gonna
put his hand in the ring to try to be a captain. He was a captain once. I think
Years
that this
ago.
is a team that he can, he's got a lead. He's got his nephew at third.
Yeah.
He's
That's his
got a
team.
young,
It's his team.
it's an inexperienced, a veteran here.
This
But I
is
think,
Jeffrey's
and also
team,
Nanu
man.
said he wanted to be a captain this year. Didn't get the nod, But very interesting. Coming off an MVP year, he could be a guy that, a couple years down the road does get a chance to have his own team.
Yeah.
But, it's interesting to see how he performs on a team like this. If he takes a leadership role this year, could go a long way for Nanu becoming a captain.
I thought
this is Jeffrey's team.
Yeah, it's Jeffrey's team, which I don't know if you want that really. I don't know if Abe Haber you went into your draft saying I'm giving my team to Jeffrey Saka.
No. It's just a given because he really is very good at it. Jeff takes over. He's great. He has great speeches.
Jackie, would you have taken? You had the podcast, and you kissed his butt a little bit. Would you have taken Jeffrey Saka to pitch over Ralph Hannon? Those are the two guys that were left.
Yeah, I'm not going to answer that. It would have been 50-50. I would have flipped a coin.
You're a Jeff guy. I can answer for you. You like
Jeff.
Jeff.
I love both of them.
I think you're more of a Jeff guy.
All I know is I did not want that situation, so I'm happy I got out of it.
By
Because
the
that
way,
would have been very hard for me. I don't know who would
If
pick.
you don't go pitcher here,
They're both great. They're both great.
I think short center is more important than second, and I think Sal Fowles brings a better bat than Juber. We used to look at Sal Fowles like he's not a glove. The guy's a great glove.
Yeah,
he's a glove.
He makes every play. Hubba Bubba and the team last year hipsters, and he has a cannon for an arm.
Yeah, he's good.
MVP candidate last year.
Yeah.
I don't like this pick, and I like Juber, and he's missing week 1 because he's suspended. So I really didn't like that pick. So then I said, oh, he's going all Habers, but then he didn't go Mo Haber, and he went DH, who I guess is catching on this team because Nanu's on this team.
Are we ready for grades?
I think we're ready for grades. Unless there's anything else you want. I want to ask you about MC. What are we expecting from him, guys?
He hurt his knee.
Yeah.
He's a little injured. He's gonna be wearing a brace out there, so he's not.
But have you seen him play since he didn't do the surgery? He did rehab, and
He's not the MC of Mo Money. He's not. He's a little bit hobbled, but so
Would he
let's see.
is he gap to gap? Because you have the fastest guy here who's been dying to play center field. Why not? You
I
think
don't
he
know.
wants to be a career left fielder?
I never heard that he ever
Why
wanted
can't
to
he
play
play
center.
center field?
Mike
He got picked to play center field last year, and then he got traded for Farka, and
No,
he
he
moved back to
could
left.
I didn't know that he ever even. I thought he's happy.
He's a great outfielder.
I thought
Not
he's
a good
happy
outfielder.
batting
He's a great
700
outfielder.
and playing
I
left
think
field.
that if he's hurt, it just takes what do we want MC to do? That's what I said. What do you want Jacobati to do? You need him to hit. That's what I said to see, but I'll play the outfield. He goes, Jack, I think I'm going to put my guy in the outfield. We need you healthy. We need him healthy. Healthy MC, that's what they need. So if it takes pressure off him by putting him in left instead of having to cover all this ground, and he can do it because you can't hit 370 again.
I need him focused. I'm happy he's
Well,
not
he's definitely
pitching,
motivated
and I'm happy
coming
he's
off
not
the
playing
year.
shortstop.
He's definitely
too much
motivated.
nonsense
He's
from
definitely
this guy over the
motivated.
years. Yeah.
But if he's injured, why risk it? I just don't think
It's very risky.
the outfield to cover gap to gap with the brace on, and you know what? We don't play in Yankee Stadium. Like the hops suck. That's what it is.
Right.
The outfields are bad. We're not getting the
By
field
the
that
way,
we want.
they're only getting worse.
Right?
We lost Memorial 2 because they turned it into a baseball field. We are going to be playing games on 2 racetracks, 2 firemen's when they're available, but when they're not available,
construction by firemen's now.
It's construction now. Memorial 1 and possibly Deal School for a little bit. So there's going to be hills and hops and everything this year.
I used to love Memorial too, so I'm not. But the
got
bases,
too close.
The bases are too close.
Yeah.
So I'm actually happy that we're not playing there. It's too close. The guy hits a ball over the guy's head. It's a home run.
Yes.
It's not
Yeah,
even
yeah.
a triple. It's a home run.
Yeah, Alan Jamal hit a home run last year. His 1 home run, and he took around 6 steps to get around the bases. It was like a little.
So
league
I don't
field.
mind that. I like the race.
All right, what's your grade with this team? And by the way, the pitchers that you mentioned that are coming up, Yit Sutton throws as hard as anybody.
Yeah.
You've all seen him pitch.
He's awesome.
And this guy doesn't throw as hard, but very good from Hillel Marty
Does
Cohen.
he
A couple
hit?
of years
Does he
away.
hit?
He can
He's
hit
a
it
hitter.
and play
Good hitter.
third base. He can play third base, and he hits the dead right every time. So he's
So-
going to have to mix it up a little bit in YMSL.
So-
But Jeff's,
Abe Haber, I think he did a really nice job. I'm surprised. I really.
you
am.
thought it
I-
was worse
I-
before we put it
no,
up.
No. I didn't think he was gonna have a good draft at all. I was
Mhm.
surprised that he put together a really good team. It's a very nice team. It's not an A. It's not a D. So I'm gonna go with a B. I think it's a B. I have them battling for the last. I have them battling to be in the 4-5 game. They're not gonna be a top team.
The strength of this team is outfield defense, but you're telling me he's a question mark. He might
Which
be
is
hurt.
good, but that's very good for Jeffrey.
Yeah, but he's got to be healthy. The strength of this team is a very strong lineup.
Yes.
They have a really strong lineup. And then they have guys who we know can do it, veterans, but haven't been asked to do it.
David Herrera is one of our best hitters last year.
Yeah.
Charles Sack,
I have him as a B minus just because here and how's his knee, and this is your shortstop.
This team.
Fair. B- is fair.
Listen,
I'm gonna change mine to B- too.
you going B-.
Yeah, it's very fair.
Okay. This
Very.
team has Nanu, like you said, slugging 800, and it's a real slugging because he couldn't move. So it should even be higher than that. DH 721 slugging is phenomenal, and Juber 750 slugging. To me, it doesn't justify not getting Eddie Harari right here and going whoever at second base. Then you're talking World Series champion right here. Eddie Harari with this team and that outfield, you could have had it, and then whoever. Soul. I don't care who. Anybody. You don't need him in the lineup, and you don't need him on the infield.
Great point.
You had it done. For that reason, he's getting a C, because that's the circle right there. C.
Circle of trust.
Circle
C.
of trust. We'll be back.
Fair.
Hello, everyone. Ruby Shahebar, founder of Gems by Ruby and an official sponsor of the 2024 YMSL season. A short message for you guys. On the expanse of the diamond, we realize that no one player can determine success. The field is the venue where character is tried and tested. When 12 men unite toward a common goal with a shared purpose, the magic of unity unfolds. Challenges become triumphs, aspirations become victories. There is a compounding strength found in togetherness. One team will rise and many will fall. Which side of history will you be on? Look forward to opening day, March 31st. Hope to see you all there. May the best men win.